Have you ever woken up tired even after sleeping 8 hours? Have you ever felt that bloating at the end of the day that feels like you've swallowed a balloon? Have you ever had that foggy feeling in your head, like your brain is working in slow mode, lacking energy and clarity? If you answered yes to any of these questions, pay attention to what I'm about to show you, because the cause might be somewhere you've probably never considered: your gut. I'm not talking about something superficial. I'm talking about an organ that science has increasingly called second brain. And when you're overwhelmed, they silently sabotage your energy, your mood, your skin, your sleep, and even your immunity. Most people go years, sometimes decades, without paying attention to the true state of their own gut. And the price of this shows up all over the body, in ways we rarely associate with digestion. In this video, I'm going to show you what happens to your body when you decide to truly cleanse your intestines over 30 days, week by week. Before continuing, this content is for informational purposes only. It does not replace the advice of a doctor or healthcare professional. If you have any specific condition, always consult a specialist before changing any habits. Now, let's begin. The gut controls more than you think. Before we talk about cleansing, you need to understand why the gut matters so much. The human intestine is about 7 to 9 meters long. Inside it live trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses, that form what we call the gut microbiome. Gut microbiome. This internal ecosystem is unique to each person, like a fingerprint, and he does things that most people can't even imagine. Research published in scientific journals such as Nature and Cell Studies show that the gut microbiome directly participates in the regulation of the immune system. It is estimated that about 70% of the body's immune cells are concentrated in the gut. It also influences the production of neurotransmitters such as serotonin, the famous feel-good hormone, most of which is produced in the gut, not the brain. This explains why the state of your gut directly affects your mood, your ability to concentrate, and even your response to stress. When the microbiome is balanced, you feel good. When it's compromised by poor diet, stress, antibiotic use, lack of sleep, the whole body feels it. And that's where the central question of this video comes in. What happens when you decide to change that? The signs that your gut is crying out for help are clear, and many of them are more subtle than they seem. Check out this list and see how many apply to you. Frequent swelling, especially after meals. That feeling of a bloated stomach that appears even when you haven't eaten too much. Irregular bowel movements, whether it's constipation or the opposite. A healthy bowel functions regularly. When it fluctuates a lot, it's a sign of imbalance. Fatigue without apparent cause. You sleep, but you don't rest. The energy doesn't come. This may be related to poor nutrient absorption. Skin with persistent problems. Acne, redness, dull skin. The connection between the gut and the skin has a name. It's called the gut-skin axis, and it's widely studied in dermatology. Mental fog, difficulty focusing, forgetfulness, a feeling that one's thoughts are jumbled, anxiety or irritability without a clear reason. Remember that 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. When the gut is compromised, this production decreases. Low immunity. You catch everything that circulates: flu, infection, recurring inflammations. An unbalanced gut weakens the body's first line of defense. If you identified with 3 or more of these signs, your gut may be crying out for help. And in the next few minutes, you'll understand how cleansing your gut will help with all these symptoms. To understand why your intestines need a cleanse, we've put together a list: ultra-processed foods, foods full of chemical additives, dyes, preservatives, and sugar alter the composition of the microbiome. Beneficial bacteria decrease, harmful bacteria increase. It's a matter of balance that is gradually destroyed. Antibiotics. They are necessary in many situations, and they save lives. But frequent or indiscriminate use eliminates not only the bacteria that cause the disease, but also a large part of the healthy microbiome. The gut takes months to recover without intervention. Chronic stress. There is a direct connection between the brain and the gut, called gut-brain axis. When you live under constant stress, the nervous system goes into alert mode, and the gut feels it. Bowel movements change, mucus production decreases, and the balance of the microbiome is affected. Pauco sono. The gut also has a circadian rhythm. It recovers and reorganizes itself while you sleep. Poor sleep consistently disrupts this process. Low fiber content. Fiber is food for beneficial gut bacteria. Without it, these bacteria weaken, and harmful bacteria take over. Understanding the causes is fundamental, because any 30-day protocol that doesn't consider these causes will be, at best, temporary. What does intestinal cleansing really mean? When you search for intestinal cleansing on the internet, you'll find a flood of products, miracle teas, 3-day detoxes, expensive supplements, and questionable promises. That's not what we're talking about here. True intestinal cleansing is a process, not a product. It's a set of dietary and lifestyle habits that, when practiced consistently over 30 days, allow the gut to reduce inflammation, rebalance the microbiome, and function efficiently again. And this process gives you a new lease on life. There is no tea that will do that in 3 days. The intestine doesn't work that way. It's a living, complex organ that responds to continuous stimuli. What works is what science has already documented. A diet rich in fiber, adequate hydration, reduction of ultra-processed foods, introduction of fermented foods, and regular physical activity. Simple to understand, consistent to apply, and with results that truly appear over the weeks. Let's see what happens, week by week. Week 1, the body begins to react. You start cutting out ultra-processed foods, increasing your fiber intake, and drinking more water. What happens? The first week can be surprising, and not always in a pleasant way. Days 1 to 3, many people report a slight increase in intestinal discomfort. More gas, a feeling of bloating in the stomach. This is expected. When you increase your fiber intake, the bacteria in your gut begin to ferment it, and this process produces gas. It's the microbiome reacting to a new environment. Days 4 and 5, bowel movements begin to regulate. Those who suffered from constipation start to notice a difference. The intestines respond quickly to fiber and adequate hydration. Days 6 and 7, the inflammation begins to subside with the first visible signs. Some people notice a reduction in abdominal swelling. The belly that was always bloated begins to feel lighter. This week is the most difficult psychologically. The body is in transition. The temptation to return to old habits is great, but it is precisely here that most people give up and lose everything that would come after. Week 2, the turning point. The second week is where things start to get interesting. The microbiome is beginning to reorganize itself. Beneficial bacteria are multiplying because they now have the food they need, fiber. Harmful bacteria are losing ground. What you start to notice? The bloating reduces more consistently. Many people report that the belly that used to be distended at the end of the day begins to noticeably shrink. Bowel movements stabilize. Regularity begins to appear. And this, in itself, is an important marker of intestinal health. Your energy levels start to improve. As your intestines absorb nutrients better, your energy levels throughout the day increase. That mid-afternoon fatigue begins to fade. Sleep can improve. The connection between gut health and sleep quality is well documented. With less inflammation and more serotonin circulating, the body relaxes more easily at night. The second week is the turning point. That's when your body starts to show that the effort is paying off. If you're enjoying this content, follow the channel now. Every week, there's a new video explaining what happens to your body in a simple, science-based way. Click follow and don't miss any. Weeks 3 and 4, the transformation. Starting in the third week, the results move beyond the gut and appear throughout the body. Cleaner skin. The gut-skin axis is real. With fewer toxins circulating in the system and less systemic inflammation, the skin begins to respond. Research published in Journal of Clinical Gastroenterology and other scientific journals show an association between microbiome health and skin conditions such as acne and dermatitis. Sharper mental focus. The fog begins to lift. With a more balanced microbiome, neurotransmitter production stabilizes. Many people report that they can concentrate for longer periods and that their memory seems sharper. Less inflammation. Leaky gut, a condition in which the intestinal wall becomes compromised, allowing particles to pass into the bloodstream, begins to recover with proper nutrition. This reduces the low-grade inflammation that underlies a range of chronic symptoms. Stronger immunity. With 70% of immune cells concentrated in the gut, a healthier microbiome translates to more efficient defense. You may start to notice that you are catching fewer colds and recovering faster. More stable mood, fewer bursts of irritability, more calm, more lightness. Serotonin produced in the gut directly impacts emotional regulation. At the end of the 30 days, what most people describe is not just an improvement in bowel function. It's a general feeling that the body has started working again, as if someone had lifted a weight that had been there for a long time. Now for the part everyone wants to know, what exactly do you do during those 30 days? The protocol is built on simple pillars. None of them require expensive products or miracle supplements. Pillar 1. Foods that nourish the gut. Prioritize foods rich in prebiotic fibers, those that serve as food for beneficial bacteria. The main ones are garlic and onion bananas, especially less ripe ones. Oat legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, asparagus and artichoke apple with peel. Also include fermented foods, which introduce beneficial bacteria directly into the gut. Natural yogurt with no added sugar. Kefir kombucha, pay attention to the sugar content. Pillar 2. Foods that overload the intestines, reduce as much as possible during the 30 days. Ultra-processed foods, filled cookies, processed meats, soft drinks, chips, refined sugar and artificial sweeteners. Studies indicate that some sweeteners can negatively alter the composition of the microbiome. Alcohol, inflammatory and harmful to the intestinal lining. Trans fat. It doesn't have to be perfect, but consistent reduction already generates real impact. Pillar 3. Hydration. Water is essential for intestinal function. It helps in the formation of stool, facilitates transit, and supports the health of the intestinal lining. The minimum recommended intake is 35 milliliters per kilogram of body weight per day. For a person weighing 70 kg, this means approximately 2.5 liters of water per day. Unsweetened teas, such as ginger, fennel, and mint, also contribute to hydration and have anti-inflammatory effects. Pillar 4. Physical movement. Regular physical exercise stimulates peristalsis, the natural movement of the intestines that pushes contents along the digestive tract. It also has a documented positive effect on the diversity of the microbiome. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. 30 minutes of walking a day already makes a difference. The important thing is consistency. Pillar 5. Stress and sleep management. As you've seen, chronic stress and poor sleep directly affect the gut. Incorporating simple practices to regulate the nervous system is part of the protocol. Deep breathing for 5 minutes upon waking. Guided meditation. There are free apps with 10-minute sessions. Consistent sleep routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same times. Reduce screen time in the last hour before bed. These habits are not complementary. They are essential. And after 30 days, what to keep forever. Here's the truth that no detox product will tell you. 30 days is the restart, not the destination. The gut microbiome is dynamic. It constantly changes in response to what you eat, how you sleep, and how you deal with stress. This is good news, because it means you have real power over it. But it also means that there is no 30-day solution that will last forever if habits revert to what they were before. So what should we do? Think of these 30 days as a school. You learn how your body responds. You discover which foods are good for you. You notice the difference between an overloaded gut and a functioning gut. And from then on, the question is no longer, how do I do a detox? The question becomes, which of these habits do I want to adopt as a lifestyle? It doesn't need to be perfect. The gut doesn't demand perfection, it demands consistency. A diet that is 80% healthy, well hydrated, with regular sleep and daily movement is already enough to maintain the balance achieved. The 30-day cleanse is the starting point. What comes after is the real game. You've made it this far. That says a lot about how seriously you take your health. Let's recap what you learned in this video. The gut is much more than just a digestive organ. It regulates immunity, mood, energy, and skin. When it's overloaded, the whole body feels it, often in ways we don't associate with digestion. The warning signs are there: swelling, fatigue, mental fog, problematic skin, low immunity, and they have solutions. True intestinal cleansing isn't a product. It's a 30-day protocol based on diet, hydration, movement, and stress management. Week by week, the body responds. In the first week, adaptation. In the second, the shift. In the third and fourth, the transformation, which goes far beyond the gut. And these 30 days are just the beginning. If this video helped you in any way, subscribe to the channel now. Here, we explain every week what happens to your body, based on what science actually says. Click subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos, and tell me in the comments, which of these signs did you identify with the most? Until the next video.